So, time to continue our ranking of the French Tech Tree vehicles with today rank 3. This rank is very important since most activities or events in this game require you to use vehicles of rank 3 and higher. Once again, if you want to know how the tier list works, I invite you to watch the first video of this series where I lay down all the details. Now, let's get to it. As per usual, we'll start with light tanks, the first one being the AMX-13FL11. This one is a B tier light tank. Low profile, good top speed, it can fire APHE, and has a turret with surprisingly good armor. This tank is a flanker and it will be a good introduction to how you should play most French light tanks at this rank and higher. However, it's not without flaws. Your reverse speed is pretty bad at -7 km/h. You have a pretty long reload for a light tank, here we are talking 7.8 seconds, and you only have 3 crew members. Thankfully, most of these flaws are fixed with the EBR 1951. As you can expect from a wheeled vehicle, it will go straight in A tier. This one is very nasty, 105 km/h both forward and in reverse, and you gain an additional crew member. There's also a chance for APHE shells to overpenetrate you when side-on due to your very thin armor. The EBR is a tank that can easily up tier to 6.0 without really any issue. If you do so, however, remember that your penetration capability might force you to only engage your targets from the side, as the 75mm starts to lose effectiveness at this rank and higher. Other than that, the EBR is one of the best Tech Tree light tanks France can offer you for close to mid-range engagements. Moving on to medium tanks with the M4A4. This one is basically a copy-paste of the M4 found in the American Tech Tree with only minor differences, like having slightly more horsepower or losing the heavy machine gun on top. As a result, it will sit at the same tier, which was B. The next one, however, is a unique type of Sherman, the M4A4 SA50. This one for me is a C tier. This tank, once fully upgraded, can be a deadly sniper. Its best shell has a lot of penetration for 5.0. However, that's the only big positive about this vehicle. You have a very substantial reload of 9.8 seconds and you only fire AP. The stock shell is not that amazing, so paired with that horrendous reload, it can feel a bit frustrating to bounce over and over again against enemy armor. Speaking of armor, yours is not very effective against most threats at this BR, and since you start facing some very dangerous foes like Tigers, T-3485, etc., it's best to be careful. The mobility is also for me a big downside of this vehicle. You don't really have the means to go to a decent position before anyone else, and for a medium tank you will feel very slow and sluggish. Last but not least, you don't really have a lot of other vehicles at 5.0 for France, so I'd recommend you to skip this one if you can. We now reach the heavy tank line, and our first customer is the ARL44 ACL1. I think many players are sleeping on the potential of this tank. For me, the ARL44 ACL1 is a very potent heavy, but I remain impartial and put it only in B tier. The armor of this vehicle is the big selling point. If you like to bounce shots, I highly invite you to try this one out. In a down tier, you'll be very safe. In an up tier, if you angle the hull, you'll also be relatively protected. In traditional heavy tank fashion, your mobility is not necessarily the best, and the reload is also quite long. However, your stock shell is your best shell, so it will help when grinding the other modules. Typically, this tank is a good heavy, mostly because you rarely see it on the battlefield, and as a result, players don't really know where to shoot it. If you want to bully heavy ones, look no further and play this tank. The next heavy is the ARL44. This one is an upgraded version of the ACL1. More armor, more pen, and slightly longer reload. Compared to the ACL1, the ARL44 can play as a sniper, for it has a very powerful AP round with up to 248mm of penetration. Your hull is impenetrable against regular ammunition, but fear heat and heat FS shields. Your main weakness is your turret. Your cheeks are very flat and easily penetrable. You also don't have a good gun depression, so knowing where to position yourself on the map will be important as well. I still think it's a good heavy tank, which leans a bit more towards sniping, B rank as well. Our last heavy today is the Jumbo. Nothing new for the French Jumbo outside of the French voice line, so like the American one, it will sit in B tier. We have some very good anti-airs today, with the first one being the AMX-13 DCA-40. This one carries a 40mm autocannon, very potent against both planes and tanks. This SPA can fire continuously for long periods of time without issues thanks to a half-second reload. Your speed allows you to go on flanks and hunt for light or medium tanks. Note, however, that you don't have an APHE belt, so make sure you aim for weak spots or key modules on your target to avoid retaliation. Last but not least, you have a very good turret traverse, which is always appreciated. This one is an easy A tier, a good SPA capable of handling different roles with ease. The second SPA at this rank is the TPK-641. Much like the DCA-40, this one can also engage a wide variety of targets, but relies a lot more on flanking to do so. This one packs a 20mm autocannon, so less penetration but faster fire rate. And compared to the DCA-40, this one has a long reload when your ammo belt is empty, and since you have a fast fire rate, you might burn through your ammo quite quickly, putting you in a delicate position. Still, it also has a good mobility, as expected of a wheeled vehicle, but is very fragile. Don't expect to tank shots at all, because your crew is very exposed and barely protected. I'd reserve it mostly for plane hunting, but remember that it can still work against tanks if necessary, A tier as well. Finally, we reach the tank destroyer line, and we'll go over it very quickly since they are all copy-paste of American vehicles, starting with the M44. A tier tank destroyer, HE is very meta and very powerful these days, plus this one can be up tier easily up to 6.0. Its brother, however, the M55, is in my opinion still not that good. Same BR as the M44, but much longer reload for an even more overkill HE shell. It's optional for research and I wouldn't bother with it if you already have the M44. Like the American version, C tier. Finally, we have the M36B2, which is the same as the American one, but with only some minor visual differences. A very potent tank destroyer capable of dealing with pretty much any tank at its BR and higher, thanks to a wide range of ammunition. Still an A tier in my book. That's it for rank 3. Still a lot of US vehicles in it, but we have an emergence of unique French tanks, which are starting to get pretty good and nasty. The problem at this rank will probably be forming a cohesive lineup, for you don't have a lot of options most of the time. Once again, I hope this was useful to you in some ways. Let me know if you agree or disagree with this ranking, and with that said, I'll see you in the next one.